Hello, Bigfoot enthusiasts. Scott here from Squatch America.
And Hannah, domestic goddess in the paddy wagon.
Hey, and welcome to another
Evening
in the paddy wagon. Oh my gosh, I forgot where I was. Okay.
Do you have enough coffee today?
I have. I've had lots of coffee.
So, how is everyone tonight? I see. We figured Dale was waiting, and James. Do we know James from San Antonio?
Hi, James.
Hi, James from San Antonio. I think you're new. If you're not, correct me on the chat. I do not mind being corrected. I stand corrected a lot in my life. But welcome, welcome. We're so glad to have you tonight.
And we are actually going to be in the San Antonio area.
We are in
next month, January.
January, February,
somewhere in there.
We're taking our time. Our itinerary is so funny. It's like we're gonna stay here for 3 weeks, and then like 4 days in, I think we're ready to leave now. So we have a general idea of where we're headed, and we are headed into Texas. Aren't we going to El Paso for a little while? No? Oh, anyway.
We're going to go up to the Texarkana area.
Oh, okay.
Check out the Falcon Monster.
And we want to be in the Gulf area, too, at some point.
Yeah, in the big thicket area, too.
Yeah, so anyway, maybe we'll get into San Antonio then. We love meetups. And tell me in the chat, James, is Texas amenable to meetups, like in-person meetups? Please tell me yes, if it's true. It's the Sasquatch capital. Yes, Sasquatch capital of the world.
Yep.
Anyway, but we love to meet up. In fact, we almost had a meetup tomorrow with our friend Tom.
But due to some mail snafus and whatnots, we are not going to get to do that. Now, we're going to come back later and go see them.
Up in the St. George, Utah area. So, anyway, What do you think? Last week's show with Tom was so awesome. I hope you guys went and checked out his websites and gave him some love. The self-employed sector of the world, of which we are a part, is really still scrambling. And so I just want to give a plug for all of our self-employed small business owners out there and support them as much as you can. And for us, that means giving Amazon some support too, but whatever.
All right.
Anyway, so before we get started, I just wanted to let everyone who's watching know, if you have, and I'll say this a few times during the evening, we have asked you to go to our website, squatchamerica.com, if you have a Bigfoot report and fill out the form and turn it in. And I am sure some of you have done that. And we never got them because the form was broken, and we didn't know that until today. But the form is now fixed. The minute you go to squatchamerica.com, you are greeted with a great big Bigfoot report form. If you've done that, would you be so kind to go and fill it out one more time? And I can guarantee, because we've tested it well today, the form is working.
Night, Dale.
The form is working, and we will get your reports. So I feel really bad. It was my fault. I should have known the form was broken, but I'll own it. But the form is completely functional now, and we will get all of the information you can send us.
Yep. So squatchamerica.com. It is right there.
No, it's right there.
And it's down in the description below. So
Ooh, look at that! I'm pointing to.
There's that. So I want to say we have a pretty interesting and different show. We are talking about Bigfoot, but I want to touch on an interesting take that people have on Bigfoot,
one of your favorite takes.
And some of my thoughts on that actual take. So, shall we get into this? Are we ready to get started?
I think so. And this, of course, was inspired by
our recent stay. So, correct?
Because we were very inspired by our recent stay. We aren't so inspired by our current stay.
Yeah, exactly.
Are you okay over there?
Yeah, I'm choking on my own spit here. Hold
on. Lovely, thank you. There's a visual y'all will never forget.
Yeah.
What your mind's eye has seen can never be unseen.
Yeah, so
interest.
Ladies and gentlemen, I want to talk about our recent stay, which we stayed right in this wonderful area, right here in Rachel, Nevada, which is just outside of the Nellis Air Force Range Test Site and dun 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 Area 51, the Nevada Test Site, which is right the little red arrow up there, and I can even do this now. Look at that, the little red arrow up there tells you that's where we were, Rachel. And in Rachel, they have this wonderful little place called the Little Alien. It's a right above us here. That's a
Yeah, it's an
bar.
awesome place.
It's a bar, restaurant, gift shop, tourist trap.
How are their RV park?
RV park.
I think you can actually rent like
Cabins. Well, they call them cabins, but
They're-
hotel rooms, but they're basically trailer houses.
yeah, and I think you can actually live there. You can be a year-round resident right there. And there was a house with a yurt for sale, which he was ready to plunk down $60,000 to
Yes, I was.
switch from Bigfoot hunting to graboid stalking.
Yes. So anyway,
How were their burgers?
they were burgers. I'll have to say. I don't want to say they were the best burgers ever. They had what they called alien sauce on them, was basically fry sauce with a little hot sauce in it, but it was pretty good. It wasn't horrible. I mean, it wasn't.
Their hospitality was
the
stellar.
hospitality was stellar, though.
They
Yes.
are all absolute geeks there. We love them.
Yes,
Love them.
total nerd show there. By the way, all
It's
those
true.
people.
It's true.
So what we want to talk about today is Bigfoot an alien? I get this question often when I'm on other shows and people are asking me questions, or we get reports, and people often feel that Bigfoot was dropped off by aliens.
There are quite a few people out there that I think were dropped off by aliens, and they can come take them back anytime.
Any day now. Yes.
Please, or take us, or something. Anyway.
Yeah, and most of them were politicians. But anyway, so what I want to.
I'm not going to argue.
Yeah. So.
Talk.
Okay, so what I want to talk about is my take on is Bigfoot aliens. And as you all know, I'm a educated anthropologist and very scientific in the way I study Bigfoot. And there's one thing that absolutely tells me that Bigfoot is not an alien, beyond a shadow of a doubt. And that has got
Are you going to completely deductively present this? Are you not going to allow our lovely listening audience to reach their own conclusion?
Oh, you can reach your own conclusion. I'm just going to throw you some evidence, because I've reached mine.
Oh.
So here's my beautiful evidence. It's called Earth DNA. And what really shocked me when I was in my anthropology course and we were studying DNA and genetics and things like that, is when my professor turned to the class and said, by the way, your DNA matches that DNA of that tree outside the window. And I said, that's a vegetation, not a mammal. How does my DNA match that? We're completely different entities on this planet. And so he went on to explain that there is a base DNA down in our genome, down in the very beginning of the letters.
And there are a lot of letters.
Well, the C's and G's and D's and E's and all those. There is a core base DNA sequence that says you're from Earth. Everything from this planet has that base DNA sequence that says, I am from Earth. Everything on this planet, and I've said this before, you guys are probably getting tired of me saying it, but there is one thing on this planet that does not have that base DNA.
And do you have that great video of that one creature wriggling out of captivity?
I don't.
You should have talked to me before this show.
I should have.
It's my favorite creature. I wanted to pet one of these when I was a teenager, and I was going to keep it in the bathtub. So we could just add some brine to that. We can have a pet one of these. And my parents were absolute killjoys.
I know.
This creature, by the way.
Go ahead.
I was going to say, this creature, when it's angry, turns red. But when it's happy, it turns brown. And they actually enjoy belly scratches.
Mm-hmm. And that creature is?
The octopus.
The octopus.
I love octopi. In fact, when we were steampunkers, our favorite cartoon characters were Victoria and Otto, which is, you know, a Victorian lady who had a pet cephalopod. I like that name better. Cephalopod. Cephalopod. That's 4 syllables. I can spell it.
So
anyway, I think they're great. And my favorite video, you should look it up on YouTube, is the video, you know, of this octopus escaping the tank it's in into like this. They will escape from if they've got like externally plumbed an externally plumbed habitat, they will get out of that and they will go into the sewer systems. They can survive out of water for a little while. They'll come out and they'll, you know, people will go into labs and all of a sudden, you know, the octopi have escaped.
Yeah.
And they're like crawling all over the. I love them. They're just like these totally. They're smart. They are really smart.
They are.
Anyway, can we adopt one instead of a dog?
No. So anyway, so that's the octopus. So everything else has this base DNA from Earth.
So if an octopus doesn't have Earth DNA, what the heck does it have?
We don't know because we don't have the base DNA pair from other planets. Unless, of course, it's in Area 51 and we do have it.
Mm-hmm.
So the only way a Bigfoot would have Earth DNA is if it was an alien dressed in a Bigfoot costume. Would not have Earth DNA, I should say. So you say, do we have Bigfoot DNA? Yes, we do. And I will get to that in a minute. But first, I want to sidetrack a little bit. So here's another thing that we hear a lot from people is...
By the way, folks, I have absolutely no idea where he's going with this.
Is Bigfoot interdimensional?
That Bigfoot looks like he was crossed with a werewolf.
I don't know. So I have literally had people tell me that Bigfoot are interdimensional and that they literally can walk through trees to jump into another dimension.
There are a lot of people out there I would like to see walk through a tree into another dimension and stay there.
Yeah.
Just saying.
And to
Not
a lot of
being
those
very
people,
loving.
I feel like asking them, hey, run for that tree and just run as fast as you can and see what happens.
Yes, gate 9 3/4. It worked there.
It worked there. Now, with that said, I'm pretty sure trees are not portals to other dimensions. One, because they have Earth DNA.
Well, I don't know. In my Sims 4 game, there's a tree that's a portal to another dimension.
I know. They get it from people who say that about Bigfoot.
You can go to the Sylvan Glade and pick glowing pink flowers.
Right. But I do have a thing, though. Here's a little, I don't know what the word for it is. A disclaimer. That's the word I was looking for. If there's other Earths in other dimensions, do those other dimensions have Earth DNA?
Like as in a multiverse?
Like as in the multiverse. Do they have other do they have Earth DNA? Is that Earth DNA the same as our Earth DNA? Do they match? Because they're just
Earth.
another Earth somewhere else. These are questions that we can answer when we have interdimensional travel.
If
But until then, we don't have answers.
stay there. What if, just saying, alien visitation? Alien visitation. What if it wasn't coming from outer space, but from another dimension? What if aliens were from the same planet, another dimension?
What if?
What if?
Okay, so
Because-
there's a lot of what ifs.
Yes, in fact, we woke up to a big what if this morning.
Did we?
Yes, that all this political frick-a-frack, brick-a-brack, froof, whatever the blippity-blop is going on right now, that was just a cover-up for the alien invasion about to happen. In fact,
yes, true. Yeah.
the War of the Worlds, well, none of us are probably old enough, but the whole War of the Worlds radio show that had everyone freaking out, it was kind of like a test run.
Didn't they remake a movie in the 90s?
Yeah,
about it? Yeah.
with Will Smith, I think.
No.
No. Yes.
No.
Yes.
No. It had that other dude, the couch jumper.
Oh, anyway, the whole War of the Worlds thing, the radio show where they had the whole country in an absolute tizzy because they thought it was real. It was an experiment on how they could use the media to convince the greater population that a lie was actually the truth, and as such manipulate behavior.
Wow.
So anyway, I'm saying, the aliens are coming apparently, and this is all just a big cover-up, so we don't notice it.
Yes, and we just spent a week in Area 51, and
I'm all about the aliens now. It's so fun.
it was a lot of fun. So, with that said, possibly are they interdimensional? If there's such thing as interdimensional travel, which we don't have.
Heck, we can hardly get out of our own atmosphere.
Exactly. So there's that. But if we go back to the DNA, Bigfoot has Earth DNA. How do I know that? Because there's over 130 samples now that has tested as a unknown primate that match each other, that don't match anything else, that we do not have
And that come
a
from
type species for.
areas that are consistent with Bigfoot sightings and behavior.
Exactly.
It's not like they're coming from the bottom of the Pacific Ocean.
Right. And just like everything else, whenever somebody comes forward, like even myself, I've got photographs I've showed people.
Those are worthless.
I took pictures of Bigfoot myself. I've got footprint casts that I've taken myself. I have found
Hair samples.
hair samples, and we have found trackways for miles of 15-inch footprints, 5 to 6 feet apart, walking for miles.
And Andre the Giant is no longer with us, so we know it wasn't him.
I know, and I don't think you wore a size 15 shoe. That's pretty rare. So anyway, all this stuff gets denied constantly by the mainstream. So of course, when the DNA results come out, it's automatically denied also because we do not have a type sample for it. It's kind of ridiculous, but we do have it. And like I said, I've stepped beyond, we have stepped beyond the possibility of trying to prove that Bigfoot is real. We know it, and we don't care if anybody else cares.
Because
So
we're going to do our thing, and
we're
we
gonna
don't
do
give
our
a
things.
flying leap or a rat's whisker what people think.
yeah, so we're working on right now trying to, like I said, in every video, we're trying to get people to fill out
Our Bigfoot report.
our Bigfoot report forms below, and now that it's fixed,
Yeah, we'll get them.
we'll get them. We used to get about 7 or 8 a month, or more than that actually, about 120 a year. So
The rebranding and the new website.
rebranding, the
did
new
kind of-
website kind of slowed it down a little.
So keep it going, and so we want those reports, and we want to meet up with people. So that's why, James, you know what? If you're interested in a meetup, on the website, also if you go to the website and click on blog, there's a contact form. Also, if you just want to contact us, I'll get that immediately in my email, and I check email every day. So we will get back to you for realsies this time.
Yep. So there's that. So what we're planning on doing, and what we're actually planning, what we're doing, what we're working on right now is trying to plot out the lifestyle of the Bigfoot
And behavior patterns.
and behaving patterns. So back to the DNA.
DNA.
The DNA is Earth DNA. And like I said, we have many, many samples. And if you want to learn more about that, there's a Bigfooter out there. His name is Scott Carpenter. He wrote this book. And this explains everything you ever needed to know about the DNA of a Sasquatch. It's all right in here. And if you want a copy of this book, you can go to squatchamerica.com, and then on the screen you'll see our
favorite Bigfoot merchandise.
Yeah, click on our favorite Bigfoot merchandise, and you'll see this listed, and you can purchase it right there. Actually, you're purchasing it through Amazon, but it's through our website.
And that's actually the easiest way that you can support us. You
Yeah.
know, you get a great Bigfoot book. You don't pay anything extra for it, but we get a tiny little commission off of everything we sell through Amazon.
So,
God bless Jeff Bezos.
yeah, right. Okay. So,
Hey, I'll take his money.
yeah. So, this book right here, it's Truth Denied by Scott Carpenter. The Sasquatch DNA study. This'll fill you in. In fact, we were discussing earlier, we might actually even start doing a blog on our
Or a video series, or
on our website, or maybe do a book club and go through this book and share with everybody.
If you are interested in going through this book in a group with other people to talk about it, read it and talk about it, like once a week, drop that in the chat, or you can always email us. But I have become kind of like the book club guru in the family, and I would not mind hosting a Facebook discussion group to talk about these things or something like that. Or actually, we could do a discussion group
on
our blog. So you could be private and exclusive members of the Squatch America Book Club. So let us know if you're interested in something like that. And I did not see if it was available on Kindle or audiobook.
I don't know.
But anyway, those are options too.
Right.
Okay.
So there is that.
What's next?
What is next?
You've got 37 minutes to fill.
I know. So, any questions out there
Not so far.
about the Bigfoot DNA? I can go back and slide here. So,
I have a question.
yes.
So, Earth DNA. Now, there is a theory out there. There's a theory that Earth was seeded by aliens. I'm serious. There is a theory that
Yep,
Earth
there
was
is.
seeded by aliens. That
The
that
Anunnaki
we-
story and all
the
that stuff.
Anunnaki, blah blah blah, Pleiades, all the blah 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 blah.
If you ever watched Ancient Aliens, you know all this.
Guy with
I've,
the hair.
I've watched them all.
I'm not saying they're aliens,
But they're aliens.
Anyway, my question is, isn't it possible? I've watched all the Star Trek movies. You know how they terraformed the new planet in the Genesis project and all that
Uh-huh.
to create a new Earth? Well, couldn't our Earth DNA actually be the DNA of another planet if we were in fact seeded? Let's say we were terraformed. This this habitat here is terraformed. Isn't that possible that maybe Earth DNA is not exclusive within this particular universe?
I don't.
I
think
will
so.
follow each ludicrous theory to its natural conclusion.
Yeah, the reason I say I don't think so, I won't be conclusive, but I'll be 98% sure it can't work that way.
Why? It does in cloning. Like Dolly the sheep, and they cloned her. Her offspring had her exact DNA makeup.
Mhm.
It was identical.
Right. But everything on the planet, every living thing, I should say, on the planet, that's plants and animals,
Rocks have vibration.
but they're not living.
I don't know that.
They don't
I
have-
don't know about that.
They don't have live cells and a circulation system. Plants and animals do. And rocks don't have DNA. Plants
I
and
think
animals
trolls
do.
would be really upset with you because they turn into rocks. Honestly, there is nothing in my tea but tea. Trust me.
I live with this. I live with this. Okay. No. No. I live with this in a camper that we travel full time in all around the United
I
States.
have so much fun.
No. What I was saying is they don't have cells. So our planet formed, and then what was well, shoot, I just proved myself wrong.
I win again.
No,
I love winning.
what formed on this planet was collected on this planet from stardust. So technically, yes, it is from outer space, the DNA from this planet, but it developed here. I can't tell you that stuff from Mars has Mars DNA because it developed differently than ours did, so there should be some slight difference. So I just proved myself right again. So there should be some slight difference.
I live with this full time in a camper, and I have to travel with it.
So
Nothing new.
so that's how that works. Yeah.
We're funny tonight because we still have 33 minutes to fill, and God only knows how we're going to do that.
No, so I'm fairly certain that everything on Earth has Earth DNA and everything on Mars has Mars DNA because each planet developed differently. So it'd have to develop slightly differently because we're closer to a sun. We're different distances. We've got different major chemical makeups on the planet from when it was formed. You know, our planet actually was formed from two planets. A lot of people don't know that. That's why we have a moon. There were two planets forming in the same rotation, and they collided. And part of the ones crushed into the other, and part of it spun off, became our moon, and then our planet formed as two planets collided. Which probably give us the little spark to create all the heat to start
How romantic
development.
is that?
It is awesome. We were born
Two planets collided and gave birth to a baby moon.
So we have the makeup of those two planets, which caused our DNA. So I still don't know how octopus got here. Probably from another planet.
I would love to see a squid planet. That just a cephalopod planet. So what else you got for us,
But-
Doc?
But Bigfoot for sure is
of this planet.
of this planet, because
Scott
100
says
some
so.
odd DNA samples that match each other with the Earth DNA. That's science. That's the truth.
That would be, I think, in a court of law, that would be called a preponderance of the evidence.
A preponderance of the evidence. Absolutely.
So it's not beyond a shadow of a doubt, but it's pretty darn convincing and conclusive. So what else? What else do we have? You got for us?
How about a commercial break?
Commercial break. All right. Oh, we would like to take this time to thank our sponsor, Patreon. They really aren't sponsoring us, but we do have a Patreon account. You can go to www.patreon.com/SquatchAmerica, and we would love it if you would join our Squatch Americans or our Inner Circle Club for less than a decent cup of coffee. For less than a decent cup of so I know Gordon doesn't like it. That's fine. He likes black coffee, and when we meet, I'll make him the best French press I've ever made in my life. But for less than the price of a Frappuccino at Starbucks, you can support us by joining either one of those tiers. Each tier has different benefits. For $3 a month, the Squatch Americans, you get a thank you letter, exclusive Squatch American sticker. And they are some awesome stickers.
They are.
They are nice. I'm like going, those are some sexy stickers. Access to monthly patron-only YouTube live chat. You get more of this only private. Patron-only blog posts and messages and meetups.
Mm-hmm.
When meetups can happen again. And then if you want to send us $5 a month for the Inner Circle, you get all that stuff, plus access to exclusive content not available on our other venues, a permanent 10% discount on all ticketed events, if we have those again, and store merchandise, which we have now, our branded merchandise. And you were coming up with some non-branded but still Bigfoot themed merchandise,
Yeah,
right? So
we're working on
we
that.
will be expanding our line of T-shirts and caps and stuff like that. In case you don't necessarily want to wear Squatch America on your chest, you could wear something else.
But these are beautiful.
They are beautiful. The logo is simply lovely. I like the logo way better than the Blue Mountain Bigfoot was. And then and as members of our Inner Circle, you'll get you
get that.
Yes. No, we will solicit you for input on our research via polls and surveys and things like that.
Right. And to be honest with you, there is stuff that we have found in the past, because we spend a stupid amount of time in the woods looking for Bigfoot.
When we're in the woods, we aren't right now. There's not woods to be found down
I know.
here.
But when we are in the woods and we do find things, there's a lot of stuff that we do put forward to our Inner Circle that we say, hey, don't spread this around, but here's what we got. What do you think?
Mm-hmm.
So there's that. So the only other thing I can say is, while we were in Area 51, we did go out and look for one other thing, and that was graboids. We're lagging. I can see it. So, tell me what you think. Are graboids real? Do they have Earth DNA?
The people at the Little Alien seem to think so.
Yes, we asked the question to the people at the Little Alien, and they seem to think that graboids are real. They are from Nevada originally. If you ever saw
Tremors. Tremors 2.
Tremors 2.
Tremors 3.
Tremors, yeah, and
Tremors 4. Tremors 5.
I think there's a Tremors
677.
I think there's a 7 now. I'm not sure. There's a 6 or 7. Anyway, I love the Tremor movies. But in the second movie, they did say they're from Earth.
Oh, well, you know.
Been here thousands of years.
Probably hundreds of thousands or millions of years, because they're definitely a primitive life form. Not a whole lot of brainstem happening in there.
Right, so that just goes to make me think. How old is Bigfoot?
Bigfoot All right. So Bigfoot is very much a humanoid, and so for me, that would make me think that Bigfoot is probably co-evolved with the rest of the human species, not just sapiens, but in that general, you know, like in that you're the anthropologist. I mean, the different human species have not been around since the beginning.
No.
So my thought is that along with the rest of human evolution, regardless of which particular species, Bigfoot is somewhere in that time spectrum.
Mm-hmm.
Probably pretty close to us.
Oh, very close to us. Very, very close to us. At least after the KT boundary.
Tell us what the KT boundary is.
that's the
So I got something funny for you guys. It's really funny. One of the issues that we have living in a camper is we often have power issues. And every time we have a power issue, I really want to basically when I ask, what do we need to do to fix this? I'm saying, give me step by step. We need to get this part and do this, and then the power will work. Well, he wants to draw me pictures and explain the physics of electrical current. Yeah. So when he says stuff like the KT boundary, that's kind of where I go.
It's pretty simple.
Okay.
When you
do not draw a picture.
When you dig down through the earth, there is a line that's around the earth. You'll have dirt, 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 a little gray line, and then more dirt, 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 dirt.
And then the water table.
And then the water table or whatever. But that little line is the KT boundary. That is the line where the earth was covered in ash once. The entire earth. Which pretty much wiped out the dinosaurs.
Okay.
That's from an asteroid impact just north of Brazil.
So the original Earth was smaller than our present Earth.
Yeah, the Earth grows every year, honey. Stardust.
We should not be having a population problem because we just expand to absorb it. So anytime you hear that we got overpopulation, don't believe it.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous.
The Earth expands at least an inch a year.
That's a lot in a circumference sort of thing.
No, it's an inch. That's a half inch on each side. Or a quarter inch around the whole thing.
Just shut up.
Okay.
It's still not a problem, folks. We could irrigate the frickin' Sahara Desert if we so chose.
We could. Anyway, so there
KT
you go.
boundary.
KT boundary. So Bigfoot had to develop after that, but I don't want to get too much into this because we're going to have a big long discussion about this next week and bore you all to death.
Are we going to talk about evolution?
We are going to talk about, here's what's coming up next week.
Where did Bigfoot come from?
Where did Bigfoot come from?
Not the Sylvan Glade through the tree portal.
Not the Sylvan Glade through the tree portal.
Oh.
Probably
Darn
not.
it. I was looking forward to that.
Because he has Earth DNA.
Okay. All right. How many more times can we
It's in the
say
book.
that in the next 22 minutes?
Earth DNA? I don't know. We could probably say it a few times.
We've got a really quiet bunch tonight. That's because Danny's not there and Gordon's not there. At least they're not saying anything.
So,
Anyway, in the chat, drop some topics that you would like us to cover. That would be fabulous.
Craig, hello.
What? Oh, hi, Craig. Nice to see ya. Yes, drop in the chat if there are any topics you would really, really like us to cover on one of these. Or if you would like us to expand away from Bigfoot. This is, after all, an evening in the paddy wagon.
Which I want to go on and say too, we also have another channel, and I think we're up to like just over
46 subscribers.
Yes, yay! So We are going to put our travels up there, not our Bigfooting, but our road tripping stuff that
and
we
our
do
adventures.
while we travel around the United States.
Hannah looking cute at different tourist shops.
I'm working on our first
Notice
adventure.
how he just ignored that.
I know. Our first adventure video is coming up. It'll be posted next week sometime. And then we're also going to have another Bigfoot video coming up real soon too. I'm working on both those simultaneously. So we're going to have weekly updates there, and we're going to have weekly updates here. I know I've been promising it for a while, but I wanted to get a few in the bag so we can stay ahead. So if we get in a crunch like we did last year, I'll have some to keep things rolling. So it's more fair to you.
One of the biggest challenges that we have faced in 2020 was not what you might think it was. It wasn't the fact that we all of a sudden had to recreate our life and all of a sudden we're completely self-employed and at least for me, the biggest challenge I've had is the sudden lack of structure. You know, when we had jobs, we knew that from this time to this time we were dedicated to this responsibility, and from this time to this time this responsibility, and so we were really able to structure our lives. And so from on Tuesdays and Thursdays from 7:30 a.m. till 11:30 a.m. you were working on your videos, and then you would go to the school and work with drama, and and with this life it's like, well, what are we doing today? I don't know. It's been kind of an interesting journey to restructure ourselves, and we were just talking about this the other day. We need to, we're working on restructuring our lives so that we work for ourselves just in as much of an organized pattern that we worked for other people. And that's been part of the issue, I think.
Part of it, yeah. We have a question.
We have a question from Dusty.
Can you read it out loud for the group?
I'm trying. If they sequence any possible Bigfoot DNA and it comes back human or human contamination and ignored, but what if it's closer to ours, just like chimps?
Okay. So chimpanzees share 99 point something. I think it's like 9. It's a crazy amount.
And that's why we like baby chimpanzees so much, because they're just like babies.
Oh yeah.
We fall in love with them.
Right, but then they go through puberty and rip our face off.
Just like that's why we all hate teenagers.
Yeah, exactly. So
they're the same.
They're
freaking the same.
But no, we share quite a bit of DNA with chimpanzees.
And we know exactly what chimpanzee DNA looks like. Exactly.
Exactly. So the question was, do Bigfoot DNA match humans, or are they closer to human or closer to chimpanzees? Or is it chimpanzees contaminated with humans that they're coming up with the DNA? And it is neither of those. The DNA is, I don't know where it's at in the book, but the DNA is, there's an index, but the DNA is an unknown humanoid species.
I have no idea how to find it in here.
It is really close to humans, also really close to chimpanzees like we are. So it's a bit of both. And if it's contaminated with human, it would say human. It would just come back as human. Because the DNA doesn't mix like that. If you're contaminated, it'll show whatever it's contaminated with and not show the other stuff at all. That's how that works, because you're sequencing two different sets of DNA at the same time. So it'll sequence whatever one's the most.
Okay, so this is from Scott Carpenter's book. The Erickson Project submitted 6 samples in the spring of 2010 upon joining the Sasquatch genome study. I'll bet you didn't know, along with the human genome study, there was a Sasquatch genome study.
Yeah.
The results from these samples would change the complexity and direction of the study. The team took 3 of the samples, sequencing a single nuclear DNA sequence from each. New DNA. The new DNA sequences were within human ranges. However, when these single sequences were compared to GenBank, and GenBank is a database of millions of DNA profiles, both animal and human, no match was found. These 3 sequences did not match any of the sequences. This was an earth-shattering discovery for the team. GenBank has the nucleotide sequences for more than 100,000 distinct organisms, containing over 244 billion nucleotide bases and more than 203 million sequences. And that's the point. When it's coming back as undetermined or unknown primate, it's because it does not match any other primate DNA or any other DNA for that matter. It has.
Yeah. See, Craig said the book said the thing is female. Ow! I just hurt my arm.
It's human female.
It's human female, but unknown. The DNA is unknown.
Nuclear DNA is unknown. So that would point to being a human species very, very closely.
Very, very closely related to ours.
Is it a Nephilim?
No.
Human female and an unknown father sounds. I could not go there. Could not go there. Sorry.
Oh.
I love doing that to him.
Oh, and thank you, Patty, from
Hey,
Porterville.
Yes. We love Porterville because you know who lives in Porterville?
Good friend of mine.
Magician lady.
Yes.
Where did her? Gosh, midlife brain.
Midlife brain. And
I can see
since
her
you
in my
started
head.
doing that, I would have told you her name. But yeah, she's a magician friend of mine.
From her magic days.
From our magic days. But yeah, and it's where the
That's where the hairy man.
the hairy man
Petroglyph
pictograph is from.
Yep.
Yep. So cool.
Anyway, Nephilim. That just smacks of Nephilim.
It's not
The
Nephilim.
son of God, the sons of God, and the daughters of men, and they created the big giants.
Mhm. And then sons of gods are aliens.
So Bigfoot is an alien.
But the aliens were from Earth.
From another dimension.
Oh my gosh!
This is so fun!
In other words, we have totally talked ourselves out of everything we ever believed in.
Yeah, I did that a long time ago. Anyway, so anything else that we can fill the last 12 minutes of these very patient people's time with?
Oh, so I don't know.
Dustin said there's a gas leak in the paddy wagon and they've lost it. That has almost happened.
That probably is.
Yep.
Uh-huh.
Oh, so everyone, keep your fingers crossed. I'm going to call tomorrow, but the Western Arizona Humane Society might have a squatching dog for us. His name is Whiskey.
Oh, you got way off the subject.
I know, but that's okay.
So let's wrap up our subject
Oh.
and then we'll go on to that.
Oh, okay. All right, so Sovereign Cosmic Wildman, by the way, great handle. I'm liking that. Says, are they spliced with gray aliens?
Then again, are the Greys from Earth
Or another dimension?
or another dimension?
Because, I'll tell you what, the silence was from another dimension. In Doctor Who.
That's science fiction, not science fact.
I am convinced that science fiction is absolute truth, and they're trying to get us to wake up and open our eyes because I'm telling you, everything that's happening, like, now was predicted. I mean, even the little AI device that we got from Amazon that, I mean, did no one watch The Terminator? They're taking over. They're smarter than we are. Anyway, no, sci-fi authors are the prophets. Tell
True.
me that H.G. Wells, who's our favorite one? Not H.G. Wells.
Jules Verne.
Jules Verne knew everything. Absolutely everything.
Yeah, and so did Nikolai Tesla.
Yes.
But anyway,
It's
so-
true.
so
Doctor Who.
Sovereign Cosmic Wildman says he thinks that everything they do is interdimensional.
Just like the silence.
Okay.
Just saying.
I'm gonna not throw a monkey wrench in that statement, but I'm going to try to debunk, because as Bigfooters we need to debunk everything we do to make sure what we have is real. I know that sounded weird, but we need to keep
He debunks everything that comes out of my mouth
yes
all day long,
right.
even if it works.
And we'll get to the ground DNA thing. I think Dustin I hope you meant environmental DNA. But here's the deal with the interdimensional thing. Possibly, yeah. There's some legends going back way back into the the Native American world that that Bigfoot are a spirit being. But physically, if these DNA studies state that they're from Earth,
Period.
period.
Yeah. We don't have any gray DNA.
We don't have
At least-
we don't have any interdimensional DNA, so we can't really say they're not, but I can say they are from Earth because they match our DNA, our Earth DNA, the tree's Earth DNA. Do they do things that seem interdimensional at time? Well, if you're 8 foot tall and you take 5 foot strides and you have
Natural
and
camouflaging. And
you have a mid-tarsal break in your foot so you don't bounce when you walk like we do, and it looks like you're gliding through the forest and you're moving at stupid speeds because
and disappear suddenly.
and disappear suddenly. It's because you can walk really fast without bouncing or making noise. Does that make me look interdimensional? It does. And I kind of have a unique perspective on a lot of this stuff that people show me and things, mainly because I have a weird past life, not past life, this life, earlier life. I have a very, very eclectic education, let's put it that way.
I like past life better.
Yeah, I started out life.
He knew me in a past life.
Yeah, I started out life in the theater, doing acting. I've spent a lot of time in the military where I learned a lot about medicine. That's all I did for 10 years was study medicine. And then after the military, I went back into my theater world, basically, and I spent a lot of years as a stage magician doing magic. And then I went into anthropology and got and studied my Native American culture, which got me into Bigfoot. So a lot of stuff that I can see that people see as magic is actual physical stuff.
Magic is just science we haven't figured out yet.
Right. So scientifically looking at it, I can explain it, but also magically I can explain it. It's kind of hard to pull the wools over the eyes of a trained professional magician. Because I know sleight of hand, and I know how to make people disappear in front of your eyes, and I know how all that works.
He knows how to convince you that this is happening over here when really something's
It's
going on
over there.
You should be a politician.
I just should. No.
Okay, Craig says.
I'm not that crooked.
Craig says some big shot in the government released info the other day about a triangle unidentified aerial phenomenon. Did I get that right?
Yep. Yes.
Shooting up out of the ocean, straight up past a fighter jet and up out of sight. Yes, the aliens are here. According to the show we heard this morning, world governments have been in touch with them for eons. Decades, and they have asked them not to divulge because humanity isn't ready yet, and based on what we've seen this year, humanity is not ready to get out of the playpen yet. So I don't blame them for that, but yeah. Okay.
No, I fully agree with that. Do I think UFOs are real? Absolutely. The reason I say that is because it's one big damn universe.
It is.
Okay.
Earth or environmental DNA for Dustin.
Environmental DNA for Dustin.
What he means is the nucleic acid absorption of DNA in the soil.
Yeah. Okay, I see what he says about that, but
so glad he does.
Environmental DNA.
Yeah.
That's something that we're really excited about now. And if we had millions of dollars, I'd be out doing it right now. But what they do is they collect DNA. Environmental DNA is being able to take a vial of water from a pond and tell you everything that's drank out of it in the last 10 years. That's really hopeful for our Bigfoot studies.
It's really, really cost prohibitive.
And good point. Dustin also said, has anyone tried pulling the DNA from a footprint? Environmental DNA. I don't know. Next footprint I find, we will. Or...
Craig says, I think someone found unknown DNA in a creek. And before we go, we got 3 minutes. Thank you guys finally for the questions. So Sovereign Cosmic Wildman says he's seen them glide. It looked transparent and cloaked, not fully manifested. That's why they call them spirits. Remember that clip of a couple of Indians saying that they could be standing next to you and you wouldn't see it. I could be standing next to a deer and not see the deer.
True.
It's true. It's like, yeah. But again,
I've heard stories of them walking through the woods and seeming to disappear, but they stop, let you walk by them.
Mm-hmm.
They're well camouflaged. They know how to stand still. In fact, I've seen them. The one I saw stood so still, I couldn't tell it was alive or not until it moved.
Because they are creatures of a natural habitat, and they know how to make that work for them.
Exactly.
Versus us, and we don't know how to make that work for us.
And I've seen photographs of people who are in the woods with a deer kill, and somebody took their picture, and then they noticed later there's a cougar standing right behind them.
Uh-huh.
And they never knew it. They are masters of their environment. I'll put it that way.
That's a good way. All right, so we are 2 minutes out.
Okay, a couple more things. Bigfoot must be able to stand next to me, and I don't see them, or I would have some point. That's true.
I will absolutely. So I wish I knew your first name, Sovereign, but it's nothing new under the sun about governments being in bed with aliens, because the very word government means control of the mind in Latin, and who is known for mind control? Ultra. Alright, you know what? We could talk about this for hours.
We could.
I worked for the government for way too long, and yeah, I'm not going to argue with you, man, because I've seen too much.
Exactly.
But anyway, so, as always, Thank you so much for watching with us, for laughing at us, for putting up with us, for being bored when we have no idea what the heck we're doing. And until next week, we just want to remind you that it is not our job is to
Wait.
our job is to investigate. I can't help it if you are behind. Our job is to investigate the unexplained.
Not to explain the uninvestigated.
So until we see you again next week, keep it squatchy and
And go out and find Bigfoot.
bye.
Bye.